In retail, how important is it to have a strong team?
That's your core. If I'm not able to be there as a leader, it affect what the vision is. One of the important things that I've really focused on is touch less.
Yeah.
You have to trust. You have to hire people that understand the vision. When they don't see it, I think you have to be brave enough to make adjustments. And when they do get it, you have to be brave enough to invest in that.
What's up, y'all? Today on Money Talks, Miki Guerra. What's up, Miki? Welcome
Morning, brother.
to Money Talks. How you doing, man?
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Listen, man, I remember going into your clothing store for the first time, and I was just blown away by the aesthetics, by the business behind it, and all of the cool things that you had. Can you talk to us a little bit about the retail business and Hype Beast and what it all means?
Yeah. So, the Magnolia Park is like the formal name. We've been around for about 10 years and really similar to my roots back being a DJ and being an element of hip hop. When we opened Mag, it was all about the experience first. And we have our four elements, which is music, art, hype, and sports.
Yep.
Hence the half court basketball court that you can play on in the middle of the store. And so, for us, it was always about creating a memory and not just being a transaction. And I think that's why we've been able to stand the test of time, which is not easy these days. But we're grateful to be where we are and build a brand. And the brand was really the first thing we focused on, and the following, the support, all of that just kind of like follows right after.
How were you able to build your business? So let's go all the way back to the beginning. You had a concept, you rented a space, I'm assuming.
Yep.
How did you source all of the different sneakers and clothing to put in?
Yeah, so the first part of it was really just one by one selling sneakers out the trunk. Like the typical story, waking up early, getting the J's, and flipping them, a couple pairs at a time. That of course evolves, and I got very fortunate to meet some important people, networked, and met my investor who saw the dream and wanted to scale what we were able to do. And so we were able to get that first investment, found the location, saw the potential, built it out based on, that brand idea, and then building a community. And then from there, sourcing and everything else really had like all these intricate things that involved botting a website or, developing relationships with people who go out there and really go source the product, and they would bring it to you so that it'd all be in like one hub. So there's different ways to go about it. I think I still, to this day, it continues to evolve, but really it's all about knowing what you need and making sure you have it. Because sometimes you think about, oh, I lost the sale because of this reason or that reason, but sometimes we don't think about the sale that we lost for not having the product.
Wow, yeah.
So something to think about.
So talk to me about how retail has evolved. How does that affect the retail and brick and mortar business?
I think there's a convenience level to those channels. I think StockX typically is going to be your best option if you're thinking cost effectiveness, but you won't have it.
Yeah.
And you can't try it on. And so there's like these little nuances that make you special.
And if you need it tonight to go out,
hey, listen, when you used to shop for a fit at night, you know where you're coming, right? And so that's where I never say we charge a premium because it's like super high demand. It's really a convenience fee, right? It's the convenience of better than Prime. It's now, right? And so I think that's where you're able to stand out. And ultimately, I think if you treat your customer right, they'll always remember that, they'll want to come support you, even if there's a bit of a separation. And typically that cost, we put a number to it. It's like 15 to 20% marked up from what you would be able to do online or e-com or whatever it is. Cause that's cold. That's a transaction.
Yeah.
Like, how do we continue to develop our relationship?
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about your deal with PacSun, because when I saw that announcement, I was like, wow, you've really blown up. Can you tell me a little bit about how you transitioned from having your own store, having your own brand, to then working with a conglomerate?
Yeah. So I got to give a huge shout out to some really good friends of mine. And it really was around the idea of like authentication, and the relationship with Pack was, at the same time that they had some really great brands like Essentials and all the different, licenses that they also carry, that they were missing the element of like footwear. And then what happened just around COVID time is I kind of accidentally became this like headwear designer that was really well sought out. Made one of the first ever brown Dodgers hats, which is like kind of a crazy little thing. And, from there, some of my hats that I was retailing for $55, $60 started to resell for up to $1,000 at the time.
Wow.
So the premium, there's still some hats on StockX, shout out to StockX. And they would sell on there for this markup. Fast forward, great people at PacSun had a lot of trust and faith in me. And so we really like leaned into the relationship with New Era, designing headwear for that collection, which is PS Reserve, and as well as fulfilling the demand of shoes and brands that they weren't carrying directly.
Yeah.
For us to be able to basically finish the outfit is what we were going for PacSun. So that's been a huge blessing, and continuing on.
And so now you've done another deal. I know you don't talk about it much, but can you talk about how you've grown as a businessman in this field?
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely shout out Ghost. That's the other company that I'm involved with. I'm the head of hype. I kind of went in there, started the streetwear category, which is we're a wholesale B2B marketplace, distributor. Basically, there's a lot of places that you want to get these amazing brands, and it's not a easy way to go source them. And so we're adding a suit and tie to the streetwear world and trying to button that up for businesses that really want to scale. And so Ghost has been an amazing chapter of my life, and it's something that we're going to continue to grow and distribute to the best brands, to the best businesses.
What does money mean to you?
Money to me is a resource. I think it's a resource to kind of scale what your visions are, what the dreams are. It allows to diversify, that you're not leaning on one channel versus the other.
Yeah.
We were discussing off cam, like, man, retail I love it. It's my favorite thing. I get to engage. I get to let the people know directly what their support means to me. It's also the most challenging, and it has the most ebbs and flows, right? Like there's ups, there's downs. Right now, like, it's down, but that doesn't, affect my attitude, because number one, I'm grateful for the opportunity. And two, it's really just like thinking through what the next step is, like pivoting.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's next for you? What is that next step?
Oh, nail me.
Many things.
There's so many ways to go. What I love about what I'm doing today, and you've seen me basically grow up, like, there's so much synergy.
Yeah.
Because what I've done now is position myself to see what it is like to be a distributor, a wholesaler, a retailer, the consumer,
Yeah.
and what do people really want? We could be in the front of it, we're a shoe store. Right behind that, we're a hat store. And then I was just telling you right now we're a Labubu store. Like, we're selling more Labubus, shout out Pop Mart, than anything else. And, really the element of hype, right? Everything else doesn't change, but the hype, that's the pivoting factor. And so we're always going to follow that.
Gotcha.
And not force anything. We're just going to be flexible.
In retail, how important is it to have a strong team?
Oh, that's your core, right? If I'm not able to be there as a leader, it can affect, right, like what the vision is.
Yeah.
And so one of the important things that I've really focused on is I've had many eras where I've been there, right? That's how we met.
Yeah.
I was in there. And of course, to be able to do more, you have to kind of touch less.
Yeah.
Right? You have to trust, and you have to hire people that understand the vision. And, when they don't see it, I think you have to be brave enough to make adjustments. And when they do get it, you have to be brave enough to invest in that. And so I think that's some of the things that I've learned along the way.
How important is customer service?
It's pinnacle. Like, even if you're wrong, like, you kind of have to take that. What's the cost of being right? Like, I think that translates outside of the story, let me tell you. But the reality is, you want to provide an experience for them that reminds them why they would come to you before anyone else. And I think the customer, I won't say they're always right, but I think they're always the priority. And so I think that's where we have to understand what's the best that we can provide for them. And we definitely specialize that.
Got it. All right. So if there's anything you could tell yourself when you were starting in this business, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself?
I hate for it to sound so cliche, but it is definitely worrying less about the things you can't control. I always kind of refer back to, well, you know, one of the greats, Roger Federer in tennis.
Yeah.
You know, he brags about how he won less points than he actually lost, right? So like it was more about the less mistakes he made than it was about him making the winning play. And so statistically, when you think about that, you get caught in like, I have to score, I have to hit the winner. But really sometimes you got to just like sit back and not mess up.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's kind of where my head is at today is the I am able to control way more, not worrying as much as I used to, but yeah, just like staying focused on what's important.
Staying focused. All right. So, Miki, again, congratulations on your success as an entrepreneur. I've watched your business grow, and thank you so much for stopping by and giving some of that insight.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you much.
Yes, sir.